Hello, this is Ada Chaveria. This is a mock trial for student Skittles, February 23rd, 2023. Um, Skittles is a first grader with an IEP. Um, Miss Moscow is the learning disability teacher consultant and the case manager. General education teacher is Miss Gums. A special ed education teacher is Miss Lipstein. Speech therapist is Miss McCann. Therapist and child study team member is Miss Vakali. And OT is Miss Neki. Parent is here, and so is student teacher Ada Echeverria, who is observing the IEP process. Skittles is eligible for an IEP based on the finding of the child study team. It has been determined that the student is classified eligible for special education and related services. The student's disability category is intellectual disabled, categorized as a significantly below average general cognitive functioning, existing currently with deficits in adaptive behavior, manifests during the development period that adversely affects the student's educational performance and characterized by one of the following: moderate intellectual disability means a level of cognitive development and adaptive behavior that is moderately below average expectations with respect to the following: one, the ability to use symbols in solutions of problems of low complexity. Two, the ability to function socially without direct or close supervision in home, school, and community settings. And three, performance on a individual administrative test of intelligence that falls three standards of devotion or more below the means. Skittles is placed in an in-class resource setting. It's the least restrictive setting for him. In this setting, there is a general ed education, Miss Gums, teacher, and a special ed education teacher, Miss Lipstein. Miss Lipstein works with Skittles for behaviors. She also works with language arts for 90 minutes a day, where she adds accommodations and modifications to the lessons and classwork, while he also receives speech 2 times a week for 20 minutes in a group setting with Miss McCann. He has counseling with Miss Bacali twice a month for 20 minutes in a group setting, and he has OT in a group setting twice a week for 20 minutes. Skittles is right now um, in the inclusion classroom is language arts. Skittles is in class resource first grade score on iReady Diagnostics test was a 305 emerging kindergarten in September of 2002, and 328 score in emerging kindergarten in February 2023. Skittles scores on the district's benchmarks is 16% first marking period and 33% on second marking period. Skittles knows three sight words from the first grade list, and Skittles' score for the benchmark assessment system was a non-reader in the fall and was A in February 2023. Math Skittles is an in-class resource first grade classroom. Skittles score on the iReady diagnostic test was a 314 emerging kindergarten in September of 2023, and a 328 emerging kindergarten in February 2023. Skittles scores on the district benchmark was a 4% on first marking period and 23% in the second marking period. So there is progress, but not enough for him to be comfortably in first grade in a general education classroom. Modifications implemented in the classroom, 90 minutes daily. Modifications and accommodations include directing attention, visual cues, using of manipulatives, extra time when needed, partial physical prompting, highlighting when needed, breaking down work into manageable units and frequent breaks. For math, it's 45 minutes daily. Modifications and communications include directing attention, visual cues, use of manipulatives, extra time when needed, partial physical prompting, highlighting when needed, breaking down work into manageable units. Now, this is all done by Ms. Lipstein. Test communications, A setting, he could be placed in a small group in a separate classroom. For B, for scheduling, time, adding time as needed, and terminating test things. If he tried his hardest to do it but could not complete it, we could take that out. For test procedures, we could read directions out loud and repeat and clarifying or reverting directions only. He is set in an in-class resource classroom. In-class resource programs are one way of delivering special education services. In this model, a general education teacher and a special education teacher are present in the classroom at the same time to support the students. We do have positive behavior modifications in place, like a token board, stickers, fidget toys, wobbly chairs, bean bags. So when he does need a break, there are things to help him fidget and help him bring him back to his attention into the classroom. Um, they found that he does have issues communicating and he has issues expressing himself. So this is why they have and holding and fine motor skills. So this is why he has OT in a group setting, in speech in a group setting, and counseling in a group setting. And there is a shared para with him and two other students every day for the whole time in the classroom. And the shared para goes to specials with him and in lunch. Science and social studies is implemented by the general education, but Ms. Lipstein is here and the share para to assist if needed. Um, and this time we have the parent have any concerns. And during this meeting, I believe that Skittles' parents really voiced a concern about medication. She did not want to give her child medication anymore. She took him off voluntarily by herself without recommendation of the doctor. She felt that the doctor didn't know what was best for her child and was very persistent that she needs another doctor. So she is looking for it. Miss Lipstein gave her a list of 2 or 3 doctors that other parents are using to see if they could find a way to get mom on board with medication or find a solution to help Skittles with his education. Um, Another concern that mom voiced during this meeting was that Miss Lipstein suggested maybe holding him back for a year to see if maybe the extra year would be a cushion to help him progress with his education. But mom said no. All children are right now behind because of COVID. And she feels that holding him back will actually do worse than help him. And she did ask for resources at home, like the behavior chart and a token board. She asked for activities to help him at home, like the sight words, a sight word notebook that Miss Lipstein is now sending home with him every single day, and they send it back and forth. And any work that was not completed during the course of the day, mom is now doing it and completing it at home so she could see what is being done in the classroom and how she could help him at home. Mom was really willing to work with Skittles at home because she wants to make a difference and she believes that he could do it just given time. Prior to the meeting, I did notice that we all sat down, the related services, child study team, the general education teacher, and the special education teachers. And we had a list of questions that we wanted to bring up with mom to see how she would react to the meeting and to the suggestions about keeping him back for a year or ESY, she asked, but because of his, there is no shown of aggression. Actually, it shows that he is doing better, that he would not be a candidate for ESY. Also, we touch base. We know that sometimes mom gets a little feisty and a little upset when it comes to defending her child. So we decided that this conversation was going to be very upbeat, very positive, and ways to help her bridge school and home together, and that to make sure that she knew that it was a team. She is concerned that he is having tantrums at home with his older sister and she doesn't know what to do. So Miss Lipstein also sends home a couple of breathing exercises and calm down strategies to implement with Skittles in the household that do work here in school. Skittles is a very loving and affectionate looking child. So we've noticed that he looks for positive reinforcement. His shared para sits between him and two other students. So she gets to go back and forth and make sure that she's redirecting the behaviors if he needs it. And this was all very aware to mom. And she did ask for another share para next year, or one-to-one for him next year. At the end of the meeting, Miss Moscow did explain that this was a legally binding paperwork, and that it needed to be filled out within the 15 days. Ms. Mescal did express to me that she sent a notice home at the end of January, to give mom enough time to fill out the paperwork to make it to the meeting. And she doesn't just give one time. She gives them at least three different time slots: one in the beginning, and one in the morning, one in the middle of the day, one in the afternoon, so the parents could work it out in their schedule, because she does understand that this is working community and sometimes finding time for the parents is hard. Skittles' parent is really happy with the outcome, and she sees the progress, that he is calmer and he's throwing less tantrums at home unless he's fighting with his older sister. Um, she is really excited, and she was really happy with the expectations of the implications of the information of the IEP in the classroom, and the modifications and everything that is being done in the classroom. She's expressed very much appreciation for Miss Gums and Miss Lipstein in the process of the meeting. This Miss Moscow also made sure that mom knew that she had 15 days to sign the legal document and send it back with Skittles, so they could make sure that he has it for the next following year of the school year of 2023-24. Um, I have to say the meeting was very uplifting. It was very positive. Even when mom was getting a little upset and defensive over Skittles, Miss Lipstein always brought it back to the fact that we were trying to make sure that Skittles is working to the best of his abilities, and we are here to help him. It was very nice to see that interaction between the parent and the teaching team and the child study team, because it was a very beneficial conversation. It was never like, oh, you're not doing this, this is not happening. This was, we're going to work together. And I love the fact that they met beforehand to discuss the meeting, because they knew that mom does get a little defensive with the child, with her children, and she would be up in arms. And they made sure that they were all on the same page: related services, the child study team, and the teachers with the share para. The share para was not in the meeting because she was with Skittles in the classroom, but it was all beneficial. I hope this was great. I really enjoying my time here in the classroom with Miss Lipstein and learning the process of the IEP and working with the child study team. Thank you.